No one gets to pick their own death.
I was back on top of the bodybuilding ranks.
False, perjury, sin, lie.
Good evening. I'm Danny Leonard. For decades, I've been with you, in your homes, keeping you informed across a multitude of networks and investigations, never sacrificing the truth for entertainment. Tonight, I'll be presenting a story which I've been following for over 30 years and has touched me personally. During this special, we'll be releasing news clips, television shows, never-before-seen footage, and any other media pertaining to this case. Pay attention. Watch closely. Don't blink. Then, it'll be up to you to decide what is truth. Please enjoy the mystery of the Tech Titan. Thursday, February 19th, 1987. WPGS presents People You May Want to Know. I'm Danny Leonard, getting to know the people you want to know.
Two weeks later, I tell my best friend Josh, we're forming a company, we're making board games.
The future is digital. The future isn't analog.
Radical ideas are not bad ideas. Right. And I have a lot of radical ideas.
I think this is only the beginning.
You are offending me.
I've stumbled upon New Lenox, Illinois, where local creators CJ Dimanoupolous and Joshua Edwards cut me a simple slice of how they created magic with DreamBoy board games.
My name is CJ Dimanoupolous. I am 26 years old and I am from New Lenox, Illinois. Oh, we've been in this operation about 5 years now. Once we've played every board game, we were like, why don't we start making our own board games?
And that really opened up a new door creatively for him and for me as a computer science engineer and as a theater major.
I graduated college with $34.50 in my bank account. And then one day, both my parents died in a car accident. And I inherited $150,000 in this house.
With a stroke of misfortune, the two friends found themselves at the top of the board gaming industry. They were a harmonious partnership.
I'm more of the mechanical, the mathematical, the engineer, and this is our creative force, and we found that there was a good marriage there that night.
I'll pick up a magazine or a book or maybe the Bible sometimes, and I'll just open a page and just pick out a word, and I'll just be like, oh, adultery.
Right.
And then
we say the same word every time, and it's incredible.
But to be honest with you, I think we've reached our ceiling, and we must move on to something greater.
What's important about what we're doing is that we're moving into the digital frontier, if you will.
The radical game developers never want to stop pushing the limits of their boards, and maybe even off the board.
Let's cut the crap. Let's not shit on board games. They're fun, they're an institution, and they're part of our American zeitgeist, but there is something else to be explored in gaming.
Currently, we are developing software that will enable us to put games inside of the personal computer.
And I think there's a way to inspire kids. I think there's a way to inspire kids with educational video games.
Educational video games.
I'm Danny Leonard for People You May Want to Know. Thank you for tuning in.
From Volume 1 to 30. From Alpha to Z. From the dawn of man to the edge of tomorrow. All in here for you. Encyclopedia of the Video Game. A DreamBoy game.
The 90s were destined for DreamBoy Games. After the release of Encyclopedia the Video Game, which sold 40 million copies and was considered a turning point for educational video games, CJ and Joshua's rise to stardom was inevitable.
Let
tell you, I might not be a gamer, but if you're looking to invest in something, invest in DreamBoy Graphics.
Their follow-up project smashed all video game records and launched them to a fame and fortune that they never imagined. Eventually, their financial endeavors expanded into television and film.
Call collect.
DreamBoy Games became the most valuable software engineering company in history.
Let me tell you, they're a lot heavier than those cameras you boys are holding, huh?
And CJ and Joshua, well, they were credited with building the greatest video game empire the world has ever seen.
Dino here! Guess what? You've all been chosen to receive some top secret news from DreamBoy Games.
For the 1997 year, DreamBoy Graphics is proud to announce the release of a new type of game. An open world VR technology that's really gonna make you shit your pants. Something that's really gonna make you grind your gainer. The release, the new, ladies and gentlemen, Sands of Egypt.
DBG, in partnership with Jinx Graphics, is getting ready to release the highly anticipated, fully immersive, action-packed VR adventure, Sands of Egypt, only for PC systems.
While vacationing in Cairo, Josh and I were inspired by the ancient ruins we explored.
Now, Sands of Egypt puts you in the shoes of Donnie Tallahassee. He's one of the greatest American bootleggers of the 1930s.
You'll wake up in King Tut's tomb, which we've replicated down to the very last grain of sand. Then it's your job to collect scarab tokens, solve the Pharaoh's riddle, and complete an almost impossible algorithm of ancient clues. Just so you can break out of there, fly back to Manhattan, and get those pro-y bastards that left you to die in the first place.
Now, CJ and Joshua may be the brains of the operation, but they can't take all the credit. Sands of Egypt marked the first DreamBoy Games partnership with Jinx Graphics, bringing two powerhouses of top artists, designers, and programmers together for the very first time.
I want to be absolutely frank with you. I know nothing about computers. I know nothing about coding. I needed a game master, and that was Franco Slater.
Sands of Egypt will be a visual masterpiece.
If you were to ask me, you'd bring one thing to a desert island. I'm gonna bring my master coder, Franco Slater.
Basically, I'm an everyday man. I work somewhat as a secretary to Mr. Dimanoupolous. I will wake him up in the morning. I will make sure Mr. Dimanoupolous is fed. I will take on the responsibility of bringing him in to the bath, and I begin to shower him. I will wash him. I will put him in his pajamas and tuck him in and make sure he is in bed appropriately.
He fulfills my demands, my requests. I tell him what I need, and he technifies it. When I thought about what actor I should cast to play the world's greatest bootlegger and adventurer, the choice was clear. Hollywood superstar Johnny Titanium.
Hello, I'm Johnny Titanium, and I'm here on set for my new Cologne series, Single Man.
I met Johnny Titanium at a Planet Hollywood in Sacramento about 3 years ago. He went up to me and he said, "Video games are stupid," and he threw a glass of water in my face. That's when I knew I found a friend.
After I spoke to Joshua and CJ, they really opened my eyes to the world that they're building. In this project, there is no, beginning, middle, and end. There just is the character, And I know that physically my body was in Burbank at the studio with them, but in my head, I was there amongst the sand, playing with my pet lynx. I was in Egypt.
Working with the Kowalski twins is unbelievable.
Some say we've been working together since the womb.
In 1971, a dream was born.
2 genius babies in 1 woman. Every bit of code has a life force within it that already wants to come out. We just act as the conduits for that life force.
These twins, they had colors, they had chants, they had spells. They were showing us new ways to code that we had never seen before, that I had never seen before. And I'm a bit of a tech guru myself.
Welcome, young pharaohs. Oh, gods of C++, grant us good code for the sons of Egypt. Accept our sacrifice. Oh, Dominu Christo, VGA, Sancto, Sacramo. 1 0 0 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 0
Oh, that was incredible.
We're gonna make so much fun.
We're gonna be
money.
so rich. We're gonna be so rich.
rich.
All right, well, thank you guys.
Hey, the door disappeared. Working with Nick Highlighter is an absolute dream. The way he tickles those keys.
This is it! I wanted to bring Egypt's western desert into the studio. I'm throwing out the humidifier and turning up the heat.
What would The Legend of Zelda be without Nobu Uematsu? Huh? What would Final Fantasy be without Koji Kondo? An epic game is only as good as its epic score.
Josh, I want you to be a bird. I want to hear a bird from you. Be a bird, be a bird. Very good, very good. And I want you to be the wind. Be the wind, CJ. Embody the wind, embody the wind. Good, good. Louder, louder. And I want the wind to be rushing from you. I want it to be coming out of you. I want it to be, and all together now. Sands of Egypt, sands of time. Very good, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
The perfect game is not a game. It's a reality. It's a world where you can't tell if you have a digitized hand or real carnal blood and flesh.
Our cutting-edge technology will bring you into the game like never before.
And that's what we're gonna bring you with Sands of Egypt.
From all of us here at DreamBoy Games, thank you for your continued loyalty, and we'll see you in the sands!
Welcome back to WPGS. Put on a glove. This news is hot. My name is Lydia House.
And I'm Danny Leonard. This just in. A private charter jet off the coast of Algeria has disappeared with creative directors of DreamBoy Games, CJ Dimanoupolous and Joshua Edwards.
Early reports indicate that the entire crew and passengers have perished.
The bigger question is, how will this affect the release of the highly anticipated video game Sands of Egypt? Your thoughts, Lydia?
It is a sad day to be an American that owns a computer. Your thoughts, Danny boy?
I'm extremely distraught. I want to kill someone. My cousin Johnny Titanium was on that very same flight.
Up next, homicide. Could it happen to you?
You see that guy? That's me. I'm Jimmy Cash. Who the fuck are you? I just got some bad news. Red! I heard that Sands of Egypt. Yeah, the $1 billion blockbuster game just been postponed indefinitely. Why'd you do it, CJ? Why'd you do it, John? Are you seeing this? Higher-ups at DreamBoy Graphics just squandered $1 billion. I think that's a lot of H crap. I'm ran out of money! I can't stand losing money, and I hope you weren't an investor who just lost a ton of money too. Otherwise, I recommend you get one of these, and you do yourself a favor, and you end it now, because your profit margins are down the drain.
Guys! All right, let's simmer down here. What exactly is preventing the release of the Sands of Egypt game? Go!
CJ and Joshua were the only ones with the input codes to unlock the beta and full gameplay experience.
I know they're alive out there somewhere. I've been on that plane a bajillion times. Okay, I know the pilot. His name is Carl. Carl went to school.
The server was encrypted with hundreds of megabytes and thousands of kilobytes of just untouchable data.
No one is addressing the fact that there's no black box, no bodies. I mean, this plane has simply disappeared. I know that they're alive out there somewhere.
Whoa! All right, I want to hear what Gene has to say about that.
From what I know about planes, which is about 0, I do believe that they are built to crash.
I know everyone on that staff. There's no way that that plane has crashed.
We have so many examples. Amelia Earhart, Leonard Skinner.
Guys, we're cutting to commercial break, but when we come back, we're rounding third and coming home with a discussion of Mark McGuire's Beanie Baby collection.
Women drink coffee too! Mickey Highlighter!
Toss me over like a pound of beef, you know.
DreamBoy Games has finally decided to break their sizing.
Sands of Egypt!
No questions have been answered. Why were you not invited on the aeroplane in the first place?
Good morning, kisses. Sleep in the same bed. What was the extent of your relationship?
No, it's nothing like that.
I'm not gay. I'm not gay for CJ. I don't love him. I don't love him like a lover. I never wanted to marry him.
It's officially been a year since the mysterious disappearance of CJ Dimanoupolous and Joshua Edwards. Nick, what's the real story?
What is the real story? That's a question I've asked myself for many years. Shortly after that clip, the airwaves on the story went silent. Joshua, CJ, and my cousin Johnny were declared dead. And with that, the greatest, most influential video game empire in history simply disappeared. But 22 years later, I sat down with the last known person associated with the development of Sands of Egypt for a chat about the greatest mystery of the 20th century. Here is that interview. Mr. Slater, first and foremost, I would like to thank you for allowing us to come into your home and conduct this interview. I know that you and I have sat across from each other countless number of times, and I promise that this should be the last one.
Anything I can do to help.
Mr. Slater, you are the last DreamBoy team member to see Joshua, CJ, and Johnny before they boarded that flight. Did you notice anything suspicious?
No.
You know, anyone who has spoken about the creation of Sands of Egypt always talks about Joshua and CJ's obsession with the final product. Total isolation from the outside world, millions poured into VR technology, cyber-religious rituals and practices. All of that for a game that is never going to be released.
I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
I find that very hard to believe, Mr. Slater. You know, I spoke to the Kowalski twins. After being sentenced to 25 years to life for possession of cyber-religious paraphernalia, they were very eager to speak. You know, Nick Highlighter, on the other hand, was a little more challenging. Most insane asylums don't allow their patients to speak to reporters, but I found a way. And you know what? They all said the same thing. You were always there. Since the creation of DreamBoy board games to Sands of Egypt, you
were always there. You built their worlds, set their rules, and gave their ideas life. You were their game master, and you were the only one who would know their fate. Where are they, Mr. Slater?
Got lost.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The process at DreamBoy Games became every game that we created built upon the last one. Pushed ourselves to limits we didn't know possible. Eventually, Josh and CJ got caught up on this idea of the perfect game.
And Sands of Egypt was their attempt at a perfect game?
We created endless deserts. Tombs that were unique to every playing type. Unsolvable mazes. You could play the game for 100 years and not be done with it. Sands of Egypt is its own living environment.
Are you suggesting that there is a playable copy out there?
No. No, not at all.
But you just said that it is its own living environment.
No more questions for today.
Mr. Slater, we have plenty of more questions to ask.
I'd like for this to be done. Thank you.
I'm sorry, folks. I failed you. No matter what I said to Mr. Slater, I couldn't get him to sit back down with me. Last opportunity for the real truth shut right in front of my face. I spent my entire adult life on this story, and I have nothing to show for it. Oh, but what about truth, right? Yeah, truth. Oh, well, truth is just what you make of it, right? What's the truth that's gonna be made from this story? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. I'm tired. And I'm done. But you know what? If you want to keep going, be my guest. It's up for you to decide what's real and what's not. I'm fucking done. Yes, done.